Hey everybody, it's one title that you haven't seen for a while. Yes, so Vinyl Finds. I have a whole bunch. I think I showed you that before. This whole little quadrant here, it's all new records that I've just kind of been collecting, and I haven't really shown. I've been pretty busy with work, and then also sort of working on this zine thing. So the first one has been finished, produced, and I've sort of distributed it throughout Pittsburgh. So I've kind of had the pleasure of going to some record stores that I don't normally go um, on a regular basis, I guess. So the one of looking for kind of some newer stuff. So this is just figured I would show kind of the stuff that I just had gotten today. Um, some really interesting, good stuff. So, but what I wanted to talk about first is the one record store that I go to. Usually, it's where I pick up, the new Shindig and Ugly Things and the like. And as I was picking those up today, I saw this, which this is Flashback magazine, and it's by the same guy. It's by Richard Morton Jack, who basically wrote the Endless Trip book. Well, part of the kind of the main editor on that. But this was only $9. If some of you are interested in, I know Bump Records has them for $12. Bump is definitely a really cool website. It's cool in the aspect where it's I find a lot of stuff on there every once in a while, and normally they'll do. They just did it this weekend, but they have a 10% off sale. So if you sign up for like their mailing list, they'll email you, and then you get a code, and you can kind of go in and order some stuff. So normally every once in a while, I'll go in and pick a few things here and there, and the 10% helps. Even though the shipping is kind of moves it back up, but a lot with the books and stuff like that, their prices are really really good. So anybody I know Zach had talked about Ugly Things on the Facebook page, but anybody really interested in getting them, they're pretty cheap. They have them for a pretty good deal, and there's a record store near me that has some back issues that like for $6 for them. So if you guys are interested and you want to maybe see if you can find any old ones or anything like that, let me know and I will hook you up. But anyhow, Flashback magazine, this was $9, very very thick, and it's just pages of the stuff that I love. So just really in-depth articles. They basically talk about David Axelrod as kind of they talk about Mad River, which I know some people have that album. Nathan Morales, I think I've seen him show that. Think about Affinity, and there's the David Axelrod track, album by album. So basically they review each album. And it's kind of done like Endless Trip, where they have the the articles as well as the things from the day. So definitely an awesome thing. This apparently is going to be quarterly, so I'm extremely pumped that this is something new that I'm going to be able to read. So those of you who are still reading Mojo and Uncut and all that, if you like 60s stuff, a lot of Ugly Things, Shindig, I think Chocolate Watch Band's on the new one. Bands are like footnotes in those magazines. It's just they'll get multiple page spreads, so definitely check out some of those if you're into the 60s stuff, which if you're watching my channel, normally that's what you're here for. Anyhow, so that's the introduction. So I got a couple of things here that I want to show. These are the first two. And Ballroom, Josh, if you're watching this, these are basically, from what they were telling me, these are bootlegs. Lee Hazelwood, this one's called Cold Hard World and Dark in My Heart. And basically, they're a lot of tracks, kind of the greatest hits in a way. Some of them are kind of the darker B-sides from Lee Hazelwood albums, because most of Lee Hazelwood stuff is very very out of print, which is kind of criminal. But these, apparently they were only a limited press of 200. So and then they just come on like this plain black label. So it's at its finest. It's on a label called Killed by Lee. So I don't know if there's going to be more releases of these, but big fan of the Lee Hazelwood thing. Totally awesome. They're only $10 each, so it's a really good deal. This is one, so kind of newer stuff. This is from the same store. I say newer, but this is at this point I think about 5 years old. Black Mountain in the Future. Just absolutely love this band. I didn't have this on vinyl. This was 12, brand new. It's a double. Just really great band. You know, they kind of sound like, you know, they have, the singer kind of sounds like Neil Young at times, and there's like a, you know, a female singer. You know, definitely have some prog leanings to them. So this, when this album came out, just the cover, it's like, whoa, what is that? And I couldn't help myself. So, but been listening to that for quite some time, and like I said, just didn't have it on vinyl. Now this is just an absolutely mind-blowing album. It's one of those things that, you know, you sometimes you kind of have a nose for these kind of things, I guess, in a way. You know, when you're vinyl digging, you know, especially with stuff from the '60s, you kind of have to take a chance and just sort of like, you know, you just kind of go for it. And you know, certain covers, you know, can be very deceiving. But so I see this one. There's the sticker that went with it. Basically, the sticker kind of sold me on it. I saw this and I was like, you know, what is this? It's basically Ty Segall in White Fence. This album just absolutely blew me away. This came out actually for Record Store Day, I believe, April 24th, so it's fairly new, only about a month old. This is just fantastic. It's, you know, it's on Drag City, Chicago. The album's called Hair, but I just completely blown away. I mean, it's just a perfect pop album. It's you know, I really haven't bought much from this year, new stuff from this year, but you know, these guys, they've just opened up a whole world of stuff for me. So White Fence and Ty Segall, kind of a throwback garage lo-fi kind of thing. So just I'm absolutely blown away by it. So probably gonna go to the record store tomorrow and buy, you know, for the rest of these guys' albums that are there, because I mean, I really can't say how phenomenal this album is. If you're into the newer psychedelic stuff, I know some people are, some people aren't, but go out and check that out, because it's fantastic. So some of the older stuff that I got a really clean copy of this. Uncle Meat, Frank Zappa and the Mothers. This is one of the Frank Zappa ones that I did not have. This is on Straight, and just phenomenal copies. I mean, that is just so clean. I've never seen one that clean. Like, it's probably had one play and that was it. There's not really any spindle wear or anything like that, so couldn't pass it up. Next, David Sequoia Flame. You know, he's going to be all over this one. This is the Butts Band. Now, I posted a long time ago a video. This is their first album, I believe. I posted the second one. The Butts Band basically was when the Doors broke up, when Ray Manzarek left. You know, after Jimbo was gone, but when Ray Manzarek left, sort of had his own thing on Mercury. Robbie Krieger and John Densmore kind of put a band together, and it was called the Butts Band. And David, as you know, it is in fact a blue thumb. So this is pretty good. I had a chance to listen to it. It has some leanings where it feels like it's L.A. Woman, you know, to describe it best. You know, it has sort of the Fender Rhodes sort of keyboard parts, and you know, you can kind of tell, you know, the Robbie Krieger sort of licks in there. You can kind of hear them here and again. And then John Densmore, I mean, his drumming, you really realize on this album what a phenomenal drummer that he is, and it's just, it has his style all over it. The last one, and this one Teddy had shown a while ago. I'm sorry, I've been looking for it, and I finally got my hands on it. It's called Chicago Anthology. Charlie Musselwhite, Barry Goldberg, and Harvey Mandel, and this came out on the this is on the Together label, and they also had, and I'm probably gonna go get that one too. They had the Hillmen, which is basically the band that Chris Hillman played mandolin in before he joined the Byrds. The Together label, this is the third in the anthology, but the first one is the Byrds Pre-Flight, which is the earlier stuff. The second one, of course, is that Hillman record, and then this one. So this is kind of early blues, kind of the same times, from February of '66, same time as sort of the Paul Butterfield Blues Band. These guys all kind of played the same clubs. I'm sure they jammed with all the guys, Mike Bloomfield. And I even want to say that I think Barry Goldberg, I believe, was in a band with Mike Bloomfield before he kind of, the way that I believe it went was that I think it was Paul Rothchild, who I just finished reading Forever Changes, or Forever Changing. It's the Elektra story, basically. I think Paul Rothchild had told Paul Butterfield, like, hey, why don't you have Mike Bloomfield join your band? And he did, and of course, the rest is history. But these guys kind of all played together, all played in the same Chicago clubs and all that. So that is that. I'm going to do some more videos here, but that's just the recent stuff that I found. So no sort of a long one, but we will see you down the road.